right, it's Sunday afternoon and we are back down at the house. Right now we're standing in the bonus room bathroom, getting ready to do a little bit of work on the vanity.
Yes.
And why are we doing that, honey?
Because countertops are coming on Tuesday.
Countertops.
Yay.
So we're gonna get, which ones are coming on Tuesday?
The one for this bathroom and then the butler's pantry.
Okay, so the bonus room bathroom, butler's pantry, gonna look really, really good, isn't it?
Very exciting. Yes.
So we reused an existing vanity. This was the vanity from the master bedroom. And Amber painstakingly sanded and cleaned, painted.
Yeah.
And then I built out the sides just a little bit to kind of finalize that. And then our contractor kind of framed out the space so it would set back in there and look like a built-in. So it looks really nice.
It does.
We do have to make a little bit larger cutout in the top of the vanity so that the sink can sit down in there, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so we're going to test out a new tool today to do that. That's exciting.
Yay.
What do we get?
I don't know.
It's an oscillating tool from DeWalt. Everybody swears by oscillating tools. I don't own one, so excited to have one. Looking forward to seeing how this thing works. So let's see what we're getting into here. All right, so here's the vanity, and Amber just did a fantastic job on that. You would never know that that thing was just covered in old moldy drywall and everything else in the upstairs master bath there. I mean, you did a great job.
Thank you. I had a vision.
Yeah, it looks amazing. I think when we told people we were going to keep it, they were like, what? That thing's hideous. But
it's just hard to get. I mean, this whole thing is curved. You see, like, they curved this piece. And so it just really had a lot of good craftsmanship. So
yeah, it's got a lot of character.
I hated to paint it. Right, it would have been nice to keep it stained, but it had a few imperfections, so it was just easier to paint it. But it looks good.
It really does look good. I think if you went out and bought something like this, you would spend a couple $1,000 for it, and this was basically free.
And I think I'm going to switch out the hardware. I'm not 100% convinced. That was just the existing hardware. It was flaking gold, and I just painted it flat black for now. So, but we'll see once the countertop gets in and the faucet and you know, the mirror and all that other stuff. So.
Okay, sounds good. Well, it had a sink in it, but it was smaller and it sat a little further forward, so we just sat the sink on there, and you can see where I've traced around there in pencil. Got our new multi-tool here. We'll see how this baby does on plywood. Looking forward to ripping through there and making a mess. Believe it or not, I don't own a jigsaw. So jigsaws work great for this, but I don't own one of those. I'm ashamed to admit, I have to go out and buy one of those, huh?
No.
So we borrowed one from my dad to do the countertop in the pantry, or no, the laundry room. Yeah, but I didn't think about keeping that to do this. So we're going to test out the multi-tool. We bought this really to work around our spindles and everything on the staircase out there in the foyer, because it's got all those spindles and all that woodwork, and we got to sand all those down. I say we, I mean Amber. So she's excited to test this baby out too. All right, let's see how it works for making a hole.
That's pretty fast.
That works pretty good too.
Yeah, you better not kick your butt.
Yeehaw.
Okay, just for the record, that took 2 minutes and 37 seconds.
Not bad.
Not bad at
Let's hear it for the oscillating tool.
all. All right.
It probably would have taken longer with a jigsaw.
Well,
Maybe. I don't know.
maybe. All right, good job.
Thanks. All right, so we just got this piece put up. Started off where we left off yesterday evening and ran it over here. There's a lap joint, and then we go into the corner. Then we got one more wall to go. Dad's here, give me a hand. We just got done ripping down some cleats on the table saw, making a mess. What do you think, Dad?
Always a mess.
Always a mess. Lots of sawdust.
That's right.
But we got cleats up all the way across there. They are nailed into the top plate. Because as we've discussed before, if you don't have a joist above there, there's nothing to nail the top of your crown to. So you got to have something to fire into so you keep it nice and tight against the ceiling. The bottom edge can go into the studs, but you got to have something for the top to be anchored to. So we got those cleats put up there. Now we're ready to take a measurement. The interesting thing here is you're going to have a cope on both sides. And we think we've got it set up pretty well so that it'll butt up there nicely and go up in one piece, but we'll see. There's a couple humps in the ceiling where they had to join the drywall. So the only downfall with doing it in two pieces is there's a possibility that your lap joint could be kind of screwed up because of the hump in the ceiling. So I don't know, there's good reasons to do it in both ways, one piece or two, but I think we'll try it in the one piece, see how it does.
Okay, we got the last wall of crown molding going up. Chris decided to do two pieces because our corners have been a little uneven. How's it going?
Okay. It's a workout.
Yes, it is, for sure.
Hanging off a ladder with a nail gun and pushing that stuff into place. Fighting humps in the walls and the ceiling.
Yeah.
These marks, but really
Disappeared under. This one's still good.
I'm messing the tip of that one. Hit the wrong nail.
Particularly enjoy seeing you hold the nail gun in between your legs.
Thanks. Works.
So you don't accidentally shoot yourself.
You don't point it at yourself.
This looks really good. Leave that one a little loose there at the end.
Yeah, once we get our other piece cut, fit, we can adjust the lap joint one direction or another.
Looks good. Okay.
All right, so we're standing outside here, and Amber is scrubbing this door. This was the original door from the foyer closet, and it was seriously scuzzy.
Well, you can tell I waited till you got out here because I've kind of cleaned this, but this I haven't cleaned yet.
Wow.
Watch.
Oh man, that's years of scuzz.
Yeah. So
where's this? What's this door destined for, honey?
So I'm cleaning it up so that I can take it to our awesome woodworkers, Quality Woods, and they're gonna make a new frame for it so that we can hang it.
Sounds good.
So yeah, I was just getting it a little bit cleaned up.
Good deal.
And ready for them. And I've already done 4 other closet doors, the bifold doors for Reed's bedroom and the guest room.
Okay.
So it's a nice day.
Finally.
Kind of unusual for, I guess it is March 1st, but I wanted to take advantage of getting those, the sunshine.
Yeah, it feels like April 1st.
I know it does.
It's nice.
It's a great day. So they're cleaned and ready for paint.
Awesome. All right, keep up the good work.
All right. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Wow, this is nasty.
So gross. This was the front of the door too.
Seriously gross.
It's gonna take a good primer.
Definitely.
Because a lot of this isn't even gonna come off. But
Yeah, that this house was so wet. There's mold, mildew stuff on everything, and then they were heating with kerosene heat when the electricity went out and the heaters were smoky. So there's soot on a lot of the doors. Just
Well, this door was work big. It's a special size.
yeah.
It's still in good shape. It's cleaned up and painted. All right.
Doors are expensive.
They are, especially for solid wood.
Yep, anything we can save.
I don't think they'll charge me too much to do the frame on it, so
No, just to make a jam. I mean, it's stuff that they have in stock. They just gotta
cut it to fit.
cut to fit, mortise the hinges in, and done.
All right, we're gonna let that dry, and then it's gonna go in my vehicle.
All right, nice work, hon.
Thanks.
Okay, the master bedroom crown is officially done. We started down here today, over by the bathroom, and worked our way down. We had to do a lap joint here, and then a nice tight cope joint there. We did a two-piece going down this wall above the door, and we got a nice tight lap joint there, and then nice tight cope on this end. I'm glad we did it in two pieces, Dad. I think that was probably the smart way to go.
Amen.
We probably could have finagled it doing a one piece, but it would have been tough.
We'd still been fighting that corner.
Yeah, I think so too. The lap joint looks good, so
Looks good.
once we get it sanded and painted, I don't think it'll be an issue.
Bedroom's just coming together.
Yeah, it really looks good. The only issues there is above Dad's head, that gap between the ceiling and the crown there, but the ceiling just dipped up there. There wasn't anything you could really do to finagle that crown up into the corner, so we just chose to leave it down a little bit, and we'll just caulk it and call it good. Everything else turned out nice.
Yes, looks good. It really does.
All right, so we've moved on to the guest room, getting ready to put our first piece of crown up in here. This one's gonna be square on both ends. It's our starter piece. So I'm going through marking the studs and the joists. And we both have our test corners that we can use to go ahead and make sure the angle is perfect in both corners before we get it nailed in. So we're gonna climb up there and get all the markings up, get it up there and put some nails in it and see what happens. All right, so we got our first piece of crown molding up in the guest room, and it looks very nice. So you'll notice we left the corner loose there, and I did the same on this end over here. Reason being is that we're gonna have to cope some joints and move those together. Now we used little test pieces to kind of set the angle. You see I've got this one labeled as left inside, and it's got a coped joint there. So what we do is we hold those up on the wall where we're gonna put this one that's just squared off on both ends. And then we do the same thing on the other side here. I have one that's a right hand cope joint. So we hold it up there, and that's how we set our angle. That's how we make sure that hopefully everything, when we start laying up the other pieces, that everything kind of butts up nicely and we get a nice tight joint. So that's one part of it. And then just leaving it loose there allows us to kind of fiddle with it as we're pushing the cope joint into that corner and making sure that it goes in good and tight. So my dad took off. He had to go to the house there, and Amber has taken off as well. So since I don't have a helper for crown, I've moved on to casing out another window. I just got done chopping up my stool. And I use a combination of the table saw and the miter saw to cut this. So you can see on the back side here, you can see where the table saw is cut into it a little bit. But I take my center line. First I get a measurement here, and that's 36 inches from edge to edge. And then I put a center line on there, and then I do 36 inches centered over that center point. And then I know that I need to cut those ends off on either side, and that's what's gonna allow it to slip in. So I'm gonna go ahead and dry fit that and see what that looks like. If it looks good, we'll go ahead and get it nailed up and get some measurements for the casing. All right, so I got my piece just dry fit in there, no nails or anything yet. And what you'll see is that it is not tight against the bottom of the window. You got a pretty good gap there. And reason being is that it's not tight against the window jamb. And that's because the drywall is actually standing out proud a little bit on both sides. So you can see the drywall is what's holding it out there. So you got a couple of choices. We had to kind of beat the drywall back around the window on all sides, and that's what allows us to get our casing nice and tight against the jamb. So you could try to, maybe outline the stool and then beat that in a little bit and get that to sink in. But chances are you're going to damage the drywall and you'll have to go back and do some mud work and paint and all that stuff over again. The other option is to cut that part back a little bit further, and that's what I like to do. You can see where I made my mark there at the edge of the jamb. So from there over to the edge here, I'm going to take off another 1/8 of an inch. And on this side, you can see I made a mark there again at the edge of the jamb, and from there over, I'm going to take off another 1/16 of an inch. And that should, maybe a little more than a 1/16 actually, probably more like a close to an 1/8, but not quite. That should allow that thing to fit up nice and tight, and then we'll be able to go ahead and nail it home. So I'm going to go back to the table saw and shave off a little more. All right, so I'm back down at my table saw. I've got my tape measure laid out. And what I'm going to do is set my fence so that it'll take off about an 1/8 inch more on this side. It's kind of hard to do and hold at the same time, but let's see if we can get this thing set up here. So I'm going to set it, I started out at 1 inch and an 1/8, so now I've got to set it at about 1 1/4 inches. Let's see if you can see that. So what I do is I hold the tape on there and then I just check the tooth. And the edge of the tooth is where I want that 1 1/4 inch mark. And if you look down here at the scale, it's close. But if you set it on 1 1/4 inch, it actually takes a little bit more. I need to adjust my scale. But most accurate way to do it is just to hold your tape on here. And that way you know exactly where the edge of your tooth is going to fall when you go ahead and make your cut. So I'm going to lock this down and trim some off this edge here. All right, so I got the stool and the casing all nailed up there. Last thing to go up is the apron. And I just got done making that downstairs. Here you can see the finished piece. So it's a piece of casing with the fat end that goes against the bottom of the stool. And then we've got a return on both ends. It gives it a really nice finished look on the side here. So rather than just cutting it off flush, beveling it out or something, we use a chunk off another piece, off a scrap piece, 45 of them together, and then use that super glue, that CA glue, to glue them together. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing put up underneath the stool there, and then this one will be done. All right, the apron has been nailed in place and it's looking good. So another window finished. And that's a good place for us to end for this evening. Thank you guys for hanging out with us this weekend. That's going to do it for this episode of Woodmere State Revival. Be sure to hit that subscription button so you don't miss a single episode. We got lots more to come. Give us a like, if you would, please. Got any comments or questions? As always, leave those down below. We'd love to talk to our viewers. So if you got anything on your mind, let us know. And as always, please spread the word about our channel. We've got some cool stuff coming up here. Trying to get all this trim work done. We'll have tile coming to completion. Have hardwood floors going down soon, baseboard, wainscoting, you name it. We're going to be knocking it out. Cabinets in the kitchen. We got countertops being installed in a couple of places this week. So exciting stuff coming to fruition here at Woodmere Estate. So keep tuning back in. We'll see you guys again real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.